What up, world? It's your boy JusRzd, and today we're talking about X-Men 97 episode 3. Let's get into it. Do me a favor. Go ahead, like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the things that you know you're supposed to be doing. Anyway, we on YouTube now. What are you doing? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Once again, we're here to talk about X-Men 97 episode 3. First two episodes, they came out swinging. I ain't even gonna hold you. This video ain't gonna be as long as my first video, because I did episode 1 and 2 and there was a lot going on. It was still a lot going on in episode 3, but I appreciate that they were moving the story right on along. I appreciate that. Spoiler warning. This is a spoiler warning. Do not go past this part if you have not seen episode 3. Go back, watch episode 3, then we can chop it up about the rest of the video, and you can come back and watch, and we can further on this discussion. But don't go forward unless you've seen the episode, or unless you don't care, then this is null and void. But if you do care, don't go forward. Spoiler warning. Hear me out. So of course, how episode 2 ended on that super duper mind trip of a cliffhanger, where a distressed, to say the least, Jean Grey ends up knocking on the X mansion, saying she needs the X-Men, and passes out in Morph's hands. Of course, everybody turns around and looks at the Jean Grey they've been kicking it with. They just had little baby Cable, and it's like, hold on, wait a minute. If that's Jean, who that? Like, wait, who y'all? So they end up running some tests. Beast ends up finding out that it is actually Jean Grey, and that the one that knocked on the door is the real Jean Grey, and the one that they've been living with and they just had baby Cable is a clone. And they don't know who cloned her, but Beast goes back and tries to run some more tests, and Cyclops is distraught. The whole team is shook up, and of course the Jean Grey that they've been living with is just beside herself, because she's like, nah, I'm the real Jean Grey. How you gonna tell me I'm not real? I just had a baby. Like, I mean, Storm done left. I'm distraught. Her and Storm are close, and it's just like, Cyclops, you believe me, right? And he's just like, I don't know. I don't know what to believe at this point. I mean, I'd have knocked you up, you'd have had my seed, but I don't know what to believe at this point. Which of course didn't help his or her case, because now she even more mad, because she's like, Storm would believe me, and then storms off. No pun intended. But it was just like, I feel you, but at the same time, the smartest person we know just said that that's the real Jean. So like, what am I supposed to believe, dog? She just popped up on the scene. I don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. We got to figure this out. Let's chill. So I understood everybody's frustration. It was just funny to me to see everybody just like, hold up, wait. I mean, I don't know what to believe. Like, Cyclops was a real one this episode. In the funniest of ways. It's like, bro, how you supposed, like, I feel you. I understand you're upset. I understand you're distraught because you don't know what's going on. You just see somebody that looks exactly like you laying on the couch, and now you're being told that you're a clone and that Jean Grey is real on the couch. However, I also don't know what's going on. So it's just like I don't know who to believe. Like I said, the smartest man I know just told me that this the real one. So anyway, of course she ends up going off to her room. The Jean we've been rocking with for the first 2 episodes ends up going to her room and is just distraught, doesn't know what to believe. She still kind of just wants to leave. And she does want to figure it out, but she's also distraught with everything that's going on. And then she starts hearing a voice, and then mentally she starts seeing visions, and then all of a sudden she is told by this voice that she hears that she is a clone, and that I'm the one who cloned you, and that I'm the person that's talking turns out to be Mr. Sinister. Ain't that some stuff? So Mr. Sinister then made a clone and is now talking to the clone and telling her, yeah, you a clone. I'm the one that made you. And so that begins just a series of him just divulging his whole plan, why he cloned her. He cloned her to manipulate Scott and Jean's DNA and their genes to have a baby so that way he can get them to have a child, and that he can take that child and experiment on that child. Sinister's really twisted. Mr. Sinister's really twisted. If you don't know who Mr. Sinister is, just do a quick Google search on him. Any comic book run, the brother really fits his name. He's sinister. At the end of the day, the brother is terrible, horrific even. But yeah, so anyway, he divulges all of that, sends her down like this mental trip of losing herself and her identity. After all this information is being revealed to her, so she's just tripping out mentally, just going crazy. And everybody else is doing their own thing. You have a few of the X-Men coming out of the danger room. They're looking at who's in the training sessions coming up, trying to schedule some training sessions. And come to find out, Magneto and Rogue got a whole bunch of training sessions that they about to be locked up in that danger room for a long time together. Got my boy Gambit in a tiffy. Got my man's feeling emotional, as Carl Thomas would say. But so then we go to Beast's lab, and he's running some tests on Jean and just trying to figure out who cloned her and what is going on. Comes out, he breaks the code, and he's like, yo, you gotta get the baby, Cyclops, because I know who cloned Jean. It's Mr. Sinister, the same person who tortured Morph, the same person who has now cloned Jean. And so Cyclops is like, what? It's Mr. Sinister? Oh my God. So he runs off, everybody scatters, they go off to their separate places and Cyclops goes to try to get the baby. The rest of the team, you got Jubilee and Sunspot watching TV on the couch. You got Gambit walking past. He was going to see Rogue to ask her about why her and Magneto got all these training sessions. As he goes there, he sees this light in this doorway cracked open. He goes to the light in the doorway, and now he's caught up in this mental vision that has him caught up. Jubilee and Sunspot get caught up in a mental vision of whatever they're watching on TV coming out to attack them. And then you have everybody else gets caught up in a mental vision. I believe Cyclops gets caught up in one as well when he goes to try to get the baby. And come to find out, all of this is the work and the doing of Jean Grey Sloan. And she is just gone off the deep end, and she not only went off on the deep end, but just kind of used her telepathy powers and her mental powers to just cause these horrific, nightmaric visions for everybody in the actual mansion, except for Magneto and Rogue. For some reason, they were invulnerable to this attack when they came out of training, and they were just like, what's going on with everybody? So Jean ends up waking up in the middle of her mental attack, in the middle of the original Jean ends up waking up in the middle of clone Jean's mental attack, and ends up shutting it down and freeing everybody. So then the clone Jean ends up leaving. They're trying to figure out a way to, they see that Jean's finally awake, and they're trying to figure out a way to find the clone Jean, find the baby, because now the baby gone, and see what's going on. Morph is like, I remember a hideout, because Morph got tortured by Mr. Sinister, so he remembers where one of the hideouts are. So he takes the team to the hideout. They go to the hideout, and they begin to fight the clone Jean, who now declares herself as Madeline Pryor, the Goblin Queen. And so Madeline is given hands, fists, feet, and telepathic waves to each and every member of the X-Men. Magneto's probably one of the few people that thought he could put hands on her and like stand up to her And it looked like he was about to give her some work, and then all of a sudden she was just like, yeah, you can only manipulate metal, but I can manipulate everything else. And so she just throws everything else at him. Yeah, she kind of suns the X-Men in that moment. Of course, Cyclops still distraught, still trying to figure out everything. And the whole time, Madeline Pryor is being manipulated by Mr. Sinister, and she's not even realizing that she's being manipulated. She just thinks that she's trying to get back at the X-Men for them abandoning her, even though they hadn't really abandoned her. They were just trying to figure out what was going on. And so everything just kind of breaks loose. Jean ends up waking up and was just like, yo, I have to stop this. I have to go. And Beast's like, bro, you're not going nowhere. You're not even healthy right now. Like you can't even really your body hasn't recovered yet. She was just like, I won't need my body to recover, and then uses her mental powers and telepathy to pretty much show Madeline Pryor that she's being manipulated by Mr. Sinister, and of course references Baby Cable, and her love for Baby Cable is kind of what breaks her out of Mr. Sinister's control. Then she goes over to Cyclops, helps him up, and is like, let's go get our child. So then they go downstairs, and she blasts a hole through Mr. Sinister, but of course he's experimenting on himself so much that this brother is low-key immortal. Like, so he heals up, even though he got a big hole in the middle of him. He has Baby Cable in this tube-like thing, experimenting on him and giving him some type of techno virus or whatever to experiment on his powers or whatever. And she breaks out the baby. They realize the baby is sick. They take him back to the X-Mansion, and B says, there's nothing I can really do because this virus is so advanced that I don't have the material to really synthesize a cure for what's going on with this baby. So what he did do is fix Bishop's time ban. So now Bishop can go back to his own time, because Bishop was a time traveler from the future. And so what they agreed to was to give Baby Cable to Bishop and allow him to take him to the future, so to see if he could get an actual cure for Baby Cable. And of course, through that process, they end up giving Baby Cable to Bishop. Bishop goes back to the future, and then after that's done, Jean's body finally recovers. She sees that Madeline's leaving the X-Mansion. She's like, yo, you don't have to leave. This has been your home for so long. And Madeline's just like, yeah, but it's weird because we don't know when we got switched. Like, they don't know when they got switched by Mr. Sinister, and what memories were Jean's, what memories were Madeline's, who actually had the Phoenix Force. Was it Jean or was it Madeline? Like, they don't know. They're mad confusing. Madeline already wanted to leave the team and start her own life, so she was just like, this would be a perfect out. My baby gone, you back, you full health, you can be with Scott. You know what I mean? And so she ends up leaving the team, and that's how the episode ends. Episode 3, man, I appreciated the progression of the story, the further development of the characters, the payoff of the cliffhanger that was last episode. Yeah, man, everything about episode 3, kudos. They wrapped up Cable's story for the most part. He was now born in the present, given to the future because of the virus that was given to him. Now, in the comics, it was Apocalypse who actually gave him that virus. But in the show, it was Mr. Sinister. And so now he's in the future with Bishop. And I'm assuming eventually Bishop and Cable are going to actually come back to the present later on, either this season or possibly next season. But we'll see. But just the fight, once again, the way they're highlighting these different X-Men and the different fights and how they're using their powers and just the fight scenes and the combat choreography, man, it's gotta give them a round of applause. They're doing a great job. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to every episode. I can't even hold you. Episode 4, I'm looking forward to. That's sometime this week. That review is probably gonna drop sometime this week. I'm just looking forward to enjoying the rest of this series. I know it's only 8 episodes for the first season. This is episode 3. For me, I would give this episode 8.5 or 9 out of 10. I thought it was really good. I thought it was executed very well. I thought the story was pushed. The emotional points, you felt them. You understood different characters' motivations. It didn't feel forced. It didn't feel like they were doing too much. So I give it. It was a very story-driven episode, even though they did have the fights. But it was a very story-driven episode. So yeah, I give it about an 8.5, 9. But let me know in the comment section if you agree with me or if you feel like I'm tripping. Either way, we can chop it up in the comments. But yeah, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video. And let's chop it up in the comments. Let's see what you felt about the episode. And remember, it's free soul to the soul free. We out.